I was just about to unbutton the third button on Chloe Vance's silk blouse when the system's voice shrieked in my head, nearly shattering my eardrums. Host, stop. Abort mission. You're seducing the wrong target. The real objective is her sworn enemy, Stella Reed. The words hit me like a bolt of lightning. My fingers froze in midair. On the couch beneath me, Chloe's brow furrowed slightly. Her face was flushed, her breathing shallow. A delicate snow-white hand rested on my chest. The pressure, so light it felt like a soap bubble ready to pop. 10 minutes ago, this exact scene would have turned me into a ravenous wolf. But now, all I could do was stare at her open collar and the elegant curve of her collarbone, my brain buzzing like a short-circuited transformer. So what now? I asked the system, my thoughts racing in sheer panic. The buttons are already undone. I can't just button them back up, can I? The system went silent for 2 full seconds before offering the worst idea I'd ever heard. How about you try? You could frame it as respecting her personal agency. I want to scream, but with no other options, I took a deep breath, plastered a look of noble self-control on my face, and began to painstakingly button her shirt back up, one button at a time. Love, I muttered, trying to sound profound, is a hand that wants to touch, but pulls back. I can't take advantage of you like this. The instant I fastened the last button, Chloe's eyes snapped open. The hazy, dreamlike fog was gone, replaced by a gaze so sharp and clear it was terrifying. She threw her arms around my neck, her body, smelling of mint shower gel, pressing flush against mine. I froze, my pupils dilating. I felt like I'd been pulled into a soft, warm trap. Her lips brushed against my earlobe, her voice a hot, silky whisper. Love is about indulgence, not inhibition, Ethan Cole. Are you just all talk, or can you not get it up? My brain blue-screened. Crash. Reboot failed. For the 2 years I'd been trying to win over Chloe Vance, I'd live a life more ascetic than a monk. The system told me she was the archetypal ice queen, an independent, career-driven woman who could only be thawed by gentle, persistent warmth. So I sent good morning and good night texts without fail. I brought her late-night pizza when she worked overtime at her firm. When she got sick, I was the one navigating the urgent care bureaucracy and picking up her prescriptions from CVS. Hell, when her Persian cat went into a difficult labor, I was the one who drove it to the 24-hour vet and stayed there until dawn. And what was the result? My progress bar stalled out at 90% and refused to budge. After running countless diagnostics, the system finally came up with a new theory. Host, perhaps you haven't been aggressive enough. The female lead secretly craves to be conquered. You need to make a move, break down her defenses. Like an idiot, I bought the garbage the system was selling. Tonight, I'd added a little something extra to her glass of Cabernet, hoping the alcohol would help me finally close the deal. And now, at the 1-yard line, the system tells me I've been playing on the wrong field the entire time. Even worse, it was painfully obvious Chloe hadn't been completely overwhelmed by my little enhancement. She was sitting on my lap, casually playing with my tie. There wasn't a trace of the Ice Queen in her eyes. Instead, they were flashing a neon sign that screamed, "Come and get it, big boy." "You were pretty brave when you drugged my wine," she purred. "Why so scared now?" I swallowed hard, trying to gently push her away. You have to understand, that was impulsive of me. Before I could finish, she bit my lower lip. The pressure wasn't hard, but it was firm, a clear punishment. Impulsive? Ethan, you've been chasing me for 2 years. Now that you finally show your true colors, you want to back out. The kiss sent a jolt through my entire body, my mind a chaotic mess of her scent and the system's frantic screaming. Host, don't touch her. She's not the target. If you go through with this, it's game over. The primal urge for self-preservation kicked in, clearing my head. I grabbed her wandering hands, my voice strained. You got me all wrong. I'm really not that kind of guy. Chloe leaned in closer, her breath ghosting across my cheek. You drug me. If you're not the kind of guy, then what kind of guy are you? Her voice dropped lower. Did you really think that little stunt would actually work on me? Ethan, if I didn't like you, you wouldn't have made it past my front door. I was completely stunned. So my 2 years of painstaking effort was just a game to her? A flirtation she was in on the entire time? Then why were you always so cold to me? She smiled, her fingertips tracing a line over my chest. I thought you liked the chase. Besides, Watching you get all worked up over me was fun. The air was thick with tension, her hand already drifting down to my belt buckle. I looked at her face, inches from mine, and the system's words echoed in my head. The real target is Stella Reed. A cold shiver ran down my spine. I couldn't fail here. Not like this. I shoved her away, scrambling to my feet and smoothing down my clothes. I stood tall, my face a mask of solemn duty. Ms. Vance, your legs are truly magnificent, but the future of this great nation is even longer. I turned on my heel and bolted. My apologies, but I have to go answer my country's call. Chloe, sprawled on the couch where I'd pushed her, stared at my retreating back in stunned silence. As I reached the door, her voice, low and dangerous, followed me. Ethan Cole, you take one more step and you'll regret it. I didn't slow down. Yanking the door open, I tossed one last line over my shoulder. There are plenty of fish in the sea, Chloe. Don't get hung up on a fixer-upper like me. The door slammed shut, cutting off the sound of what I was sure was her grinding her teeth. I leaned against it, gasping for air, my heart hammering against my ribs. Once I was out of her high-rise apartment building, the cool night air hit my face, finally calming me down. I pulled out my phone and, without a moment's hesitation, blocked Chloe's number and all her social media profiles. Then, for good measure, I cursed out the system in my head. Host, don't blame me. It wasn't my fault. The system whined defensively. The database clearly listed Chloe Vance as the primary objective. I'm a victim here, too. Who knew there was a glitch of this magnitude? A victim. I shot back, my thoughts dripping with sarcasm. I'm the victim. I almost slept with the female lead. Do you have any idea what kind of hell the villainess will put me through when I try to win her over now? You owe me damages for emotional distress. Stella Reed. Who was she? She was the girl I grew up with. My childhood sweetheart. The girl I was practically engaged to since we were in diapers. And the person whose life I had personally destroyed. For years ago, when the system first contacted me, I was in agony, consumed by a rare genetic disorder. The doctors had given me 6 years to live tops. Even with treatment, my life would be nothing but a slow, painful decline, every day a battle against searing pain. The system offered me a deal, successfully win the heart of this world's female lead, Chloe Vance, and I would be granted a new, healthy body and a full life. Back then, Stella and I were inseparable, the kind of couple everyone envied. We grew up together, went to school together. She'd sit by my bed when I was sick, and I'd be the first to defend her if anyone gave her trouble. Her family was wealthy, her parents were titans of industry, and they treated me like their own son, telling anyone who would listen that I was their future son-in-law. Honestly, all I ever wanted was to be with Stella. But more than that, I wanted to live. So, I accepted the system's deal. I started pulling away from Stella. I ignored her worried calls, coldly rejected her attempts to get close. I watched her go from confused to hurt, from hurt to heartbroken, and every step felt like a knife twisting in my own gut. But I couldn't turn back. I was terrified that if I did, I'd lose the will to keep fighting for my life. The day her family's company went bankrupt is seared into my memory. Her parents, framed by a business rival, died in a fiery car crash. Overnight, she went from a princess to a pauper, an orphan left with nothing but a mountain of debt and the smoldering ruins of her family's legacy. She ran to my apartment building in the pouring rain, her clothes soaked through. She knelt on the cold, wet pavement, grabbing the cuff of my jeans, her eyes red-rimmed and pleading. Ethan, just give me a little more time. I swear I'll rebuild everything. I'll make a fortune. I'll pay off all the debt. Just don't leave me. Please. I'm begging you. Her voice was choked with sobs, every word a drop of blood from her heart. It shattered me to see her like that. The rain plastered her hair to her face, making it impossible to tell where the raindrops ended and the tears began. For a moment, I almost broke. I almost pulled her into my arms and told her I'd stay, that I'd be with her no matter what. But the system's warning blared in my mind. Host, remember the mission. You have to make a clean break, or you'll die. And if you're dead, who will be there for her? Only by living can you give her a future. I hardened my heart. I kicked her hand away, my voice laced with a venom I didn't know I possessed. Stop dreaming, Stella. I was only with you for your family's money. Now that they're bankrupt, you're just a broke nobody. Why would I stick around? She froze, staring at me in disbelief, fresh tears streaming down her face. What are you saying? Ethan, you were never like this. Tell me this isn't real. The past is the past, I said, forcing a sneer onto my face, my cold glare twisting the knife. I've been sick of you for years. If it wasn't for your money, I never would have put up with a spoiled, bossy princess like you. I pointed a finger at her, spitting out the cruelest words I could think of. Look at you now. You're pathetic like a stray dog. It makes me sick. As of today, our engagement is off. Stop bothering me. The sight of you makes me want to puke. With that, I turned and walked into my building, leaving her to collapse in the rain, her soul-shattering sobs echoing behind me. I could feel her despairing gaze burning into my back like 1,000 tiny needles. To this day, I can still hear her screaming after me through the storm. Ethan Cole, what goes around comes around. You'll regret this day for the rest of your life. Her voice was raw, filled with a bottomless hatred that became a thorn in my heart, impossible to remove. Soon after, I threw myself into pursuing Chloe Vance, becoming her devoted admirer, all for the sake of the mission. Meanwhile, Stella, driven by a ferocious will to survive, clawed her way up in the business world. In just 3 short years, she not only resurrected her family's empire, but made it bigger and more powerful than ever. She became Chloe's greatest rival, and according to the system, she became the world's villainess, and I became the person she hated most in the world. On the system's display, Stella's favorability rating towards me was a solid -80. The description read, "Mortal enemy." The kind of hate that makes you want to flay someone alive and drink their blood. Don't worry, host. The system tried to reassure me. Stella may hate you now, but you two were childhood sweethearts. You have years of history. If you just show her you've changed, you can definitely turn this around. I sighed, staring at a picture of Stella on my phone. In it, she wore a black power suit, her expression grim, her aura formidable. The innocent girl with the bright smile was gone, replaced by a hardened woman whose eyes held only cold, ruthless ambition. Try to win over someone who despised me this much was going to be like climbing Mount Everest in swim trunks. But to live, to have a chance to make up for the hell I'd put her through, I had no other choice. Tomorrow was the anniversary of her parents' death. It was my best and perhaps only chance to get close to her. The cemetery was on a hillside, surrounded by lush green pines. The air was crisp and clean, yet heavy with a quiet sorrow. I carried a bouquet of white lilies, making my way up the stone steps. From a distance, I saw her, a familiar silhouette in a black trench coat, her long hair blowing in the wind. She stood with her back to me, facing a marble headstone. She was slender, but her posture was ramrod straight, like a solitary tree defying a winter gale. For years, she had changed so much. The girl who used to wear her hair in a high ponytail and had 2 dimples when she smiled was now surrounded by an impenetrable wall of ice. I approached quietly and placed the lilies gently in front of the headstone. On the smooth marble, the smiling faces of her parents looked out, forever kind. They had been so good to me, taking me to theme parks, buying me my favorite strawberry shortcake, treating me like their own. Her mom would bring me homemade soup whenever I was sick. Her dad would patiently help me with my calculus homework. A wave of guilt washed over me, a lump forming in my throat. Ethan, Stella's voice was like ice, devoid of any warmth. She turned slowly, her eyes locking onto mine. They swirled with a potent mix of disgust and pure hatred, as if she were looking at something foul she'd scraped off her shoe. What are you doing here? Her gaze fell to the lilies-eyed broad, and a cruel, sarcastic smile twisted her lips. Putting on a show. I came to pay my respects to your parents, I said, my voice even trying my best to sound sincere. They were always good to me. I've never forgotten that. Forgotten? Stella scoffed, her eyes growing colder, threatening to freeze me solid. You remember how good they were, and then the moment they died, you kicked me when I was down, broke our engagement, and ran straight into the arms of Chloe Vance to enjoy your new life. Her voice rose with barely suppressed rage, every word a hammer blow to my heart. Tell me, Ethan, you must have been so relieved, right? Relieved that they were dead, that my family was ruined, so you could finally get rid of a burden like me and go chase after your precious Chloe. I remained silent. I had no defense. She was right. Whatever my reasons, I had done those things. That was a fact. 3 years ago, Stella's gaze drifted, lost in a painful memory. I swallowed all my pride. I knelt outside your apartment in a storm and begged you not to abandon me. And what did you say? You said I was disgusting. You called me a stray dog. You said you were sick of me. Her voice cracked, her eyes turning red, but she fought back the tears, her stubborn pride a painful thing to watch. Ethan, do you have any idea what it feels like to be abandoned by the entire world? To have your last lifeline ripped from your hands? Do you know how I survived? My heart ached with a dense, sharp pain that made it hard to breathe. Having someone like you pay respects to them is an insult, she hissed. She snatched the lilies from the headstone and threw them to the side of the path like trash. The petals scattered, white against the dark stone, like shattered hope. Then, she turned to leave, her stride decisive, without a single backward glance. Wait, the word escaped my lips before I could stop it. This was my only shot. I couldn't let her walk away. Stella paused, but didn't turn around. Her back to me, she said coldly. What else is there to say? I don't want to hear it, and I don't care. Her words were dismissive, but her body was rigid, her shoulders trembling slightly. She wanted an explanation, even if she wouldn't admit it. I knew this was my chance. I pulled a file from my briefcase and held it out to her. This is Chloe Vance's latest investment portfolio and project pipeline. Her entire business strategy for the next quarter. I compiled it for you. It's a gift. Stella stiffened, then slowly turned. Her eyes narrowed with suspicion and confusion. What is this? Nothing, I said, affecting a casual, dismissive tone. I just saw her kicking you around the market and felt a little sorry for you. Thought I'd help you out. After all, we used to know each other. I knew Stella. She was proud, stubborn. She couldn't stand pity or charity. The more nonchalant I acted, the more she would read into it. As expected, her expression soured. Who needs your pity? Even if I lose, I don't need help from someone like you. Fine, don't take it. I shrugged, pretending to put the file away. It's useless to me anyway. No big loss if I just toss it. Wait, she snapped, grabbing my wrist. Her eyes were sharp, trying to bore into my soul. Ethan, what are you really playing at? Did you get close to Chloe just to steal her trade secrets and help me? A flicker of triumph sparked within me. She took the bait. On the outside, I frowned and pulled my wrist free. You're overthinking it. I'm with Chloe because I like her. This has nothing to do with you. I'm giving you this file purely out of respect for your parents. I just don't want to see their daughter completely humiliated. I turned to leave, twisting the knife one last time. Since you don't want it, I'll be going. After today, we can just pretend we never knew each other. Stop right there. Stella's voice was a raw shout. She grabbed my arm, her eyes wild and red-rimmed, her emotions at their breaking point. Ethan, who the hell asked you to do any of this for me? The tears she'd been holding back finally broke free, streaming down her cheeks and landing on the back of my hand, scalding hot. So you left me for this? To get close to her and gather intel to help me? Why didn't you tell me? Why did you let me hate you for all this time? Seeing her cry, my own resolve nearly crumbled. I almost told her everything about the system, about my diagnosis. But I couldn't. You're imagining things, I said, prying her fingers off my arm one by one, my voice a flat, cold monotone. Being with her has nothing to do with you. And don't flatter yourself. I'm not selfless enough to sacrifice my own happiness for you. Do you think this is what I wanted? She stared at me, her voice breaking, thick with despair. Ethan, I never wanted any of this. I just wanted you. The you who took care of me when I was sick, who protected me when I was bullied, the Ethan who used to smile at me. Right there, in front of me, she tore the file to shreds. The pieces of paper fluttered to the ground like bitter, white snow. I don't need this. I need you. Why can't you understand that? She closed her eyes, her hands clenched in a fist so tight her nails drew blood from her palms. I don't need your charity. I don't need your help, she whispered, her voice trembling. Ethan, if you ever do something like this again behind my back, I will never, ever forgive you. With that, she turned and ran, her figure a lonely, retreating silhouette burdened with all the pain in the world. I stood there, watching her disappear down the stone steps, a storm of emotions churning inside me. System, what's her favorability now? I asked silently. The system's voice exploded with glee. Host, it's incredible. Stella's favorability jumped straight to 60. From -80 to 60. That's a 140-point swing. You're a genius. I didn't reply. I just bent down, picked up the discarded bouquet of lilies, brushed the dirt from the petals, and placed it back in front of the headstone. I gave a deep bow to the smiling faces of her parents. I'm so sorry, I thought. I promise I'll make up for all the pain I caused Stella. I'll take care of her and give her the future she deserves. Please, trust me. The wind rustled the pines, a sound like a sigh, or perhaps an answer. Just as I was about to leave, a voice, cold and dripping with venom, cut through the air behind me. What a magnificent performance. Ethan, it's a shame you're not an actor. My blood ran cold. I spun around. Chloe Vance stood in the shade of a large oak tree, her arms crossed, her face a thundercloud. Her eyes were fixed on me, cold enough to burn. You followed me? My scalp tingled. I took an involuntary step back, a very bad feeling creeping up my spine. She started walking toward me, the sharp clicks of her heels on the stone path echoing like a death knell. Her expression grew darker with every step. Followed you, she sneered. If I hadn't, how would I have ever found out that your grand romance with me was all for your childhood sweetheart? You've got some nerve, Ethan Cole. She stopped in front of me and seized my chin, her grip surprisingly strong. 2 years. You were the perfect gentleman. You brought me breakfast, fought off my unwanted suitors. You even almost got your leg broken for me. Was all of that just an act? Her eyes blazed with fury and betrayal. You got close to me just to steal my company's secrets to help your ex-girlfriend? What do you take me for? Some tool you can just use and throw away. This was bad. Very bad. There was no explaining my way out of this one. And from the look on her face, she thought I was some kind of secret agent working for Stella, which was definitely not going to help my new mission. Since you already know, there's no point in hiding it, I said, deciding to just cut my losses. I met her furious gaze. Let's break up. Chloe was no longer a target. I had to make a clean break so I could focus on Stella. If Stella found out I was still tangled up with Chloe, her possessiveness would send my favorability rating plummeting back into the abyss. Break up? Chloe's anger curdled into a bitter laugh. Her fingers tightened on my jaw, her eyes flashing with a dangerous, obsessive light. Break up with me so you can ride off into the sunset with your precious Stella? In your dreams, Ethan. She slammed me back against a stone wall, planting her hands on either side of my head, trapping me. Her face was inches from mine, her hot breath a warning. Getting rid of me won't be that easy, she whispered, her gaze dark and wild. Did you really think you could start and stop this whenever you wanted? I'm telling you right now, Ethan, there's no way out. I stared in her crazed eyes and felt a genuine sense of dread. This was not the strong, in-control female lead the system had described. This woman was unhinged. Host, don't worry. The system piped up. Chloe is the female lead. She's fundamentally a good person. She's just hurt and emotional right now. She would never do anything too extreme. Trust in the female lead's character. Are you sure? I shot back, my doubt growing as I stared at the woman who looked seconds away from completely snapping. Absolutely. The system insisted. I guarantee she won't hurt you. Once she calms down, she'll be fine. Just then, Chloe leaned in, her voice a low, seductive threat in my ear. Ethan, you're so devoted to Stella, aren't you? You'd lie, cheat, and betray me for her. Her cool fingertip traced the line of my lips. But have you ever stopped to think what she would do if she knew? If she knew you'd touched me, kissed me, almost slept with me? Would she still want her oh-so-noble ex-boyfriend then? My heart sank. She was threatening me. She knew exactly where my weak spot was. What do you want? I asked, bracing myself. Simple. A sly, possessive smile played on her lips. You dump Stella and stay with me. Or we can have a little arrangement. In private, you're still mine. You'll be at my beck and call. Her fingers toyed with the buttons on my shirt. Otherwise, I'll package up every photo, every video, every little detail of what you try to do to me tonight, and send it all directly to Stella. Let's see if she still wants her devoted hero after that. I was trapped. Stella was intensely possessive. If she saw that, her favorability would nosedive. I'd be lucky to survive the day, let alone complete the mission. But agreeing to Chloe's terms felt like a betrayal, and it would make winning Stella over 1,000 times harder. Agree to it, the system urged. Just stall for time. The female lead is just acting out. Once the male lead appears, she'll forget all about you. Just hang in there a little longer. Male lead. Yes, the system explained. This world's male lead, Leo Hansen, is about to make his entrance. He's Chloe's soulmate. As soon as he shows up, she'll be completely smitten and your problem will be solved. It was a long shot, but it was the only shot I had. To get back to Stella, I'd have to play along. Fine, I said, meeting Chloe's eyes. I agree, but I have one condition. You don't interfere with me and Stella, and you don't hurt her. If you do, the deal is off. Chloe sneered. So protective. She stroked my cheek, her eyes a storm of anger, jealousy, and a flicker of something that looked like hurt. Deal. But you remember this. You belong to me now. Until I get tired of you. You will not have any intimate contact with her, or there will be consequences. I nodded. She smiled, satisfied, and leaned in to give me a short, punishing kiss. Good boy. I knew, in that moment, that my life had just become a living hell, caught between the woman I was trying to save and the woman who was trying to own me. My life became a tightrope act. During the day, I was a permanent fixture at Stella's company. I brought her favorite strawberry shortcake in the morning, a carefully prepared lunch in the afternoon, and stayed late to help with whatever she needed, desperately trying to chip away at her defenses. At night, I had to report to Chloe, playing the part of her secret lover, enduring her paranoia and possessiveness. She checked my phone, restricted my movements, and sometimes even had me followed. It was exhausting, a constant state of high alert. Keep it up, host. The system cheered. Stella's favorability is at 70. You're on the right track. The small victories kept me going. That afternoon, I brought lunch to Stella's corner office. It was a sleek, minimalist space with a floor-to-ceiling window overlooking the city. She was bent over a stack of documents, her brow furrowed in concentration. Stella, time to eat, I said softly, placing the container of homemade lemon herb chicken and roasted potatoes, her old favorite, on her desk. She looked up, her expression unreadable, but she put down her pen and picked up a fork. Don't eat so fast, I said, handing her a glass of water. She took a sip and finally spoke. You don't have to come here every day. The company has a cafeteria. Her voice was still cool, but the sharp, hateful edge was gone. I like doing it, I said with a genuine smile. Besides, I want to make up for the time we lost. Her hand paused for a fraction of a second. I saw the corner of her mouth twitch upwards in a tiny, almost imperceptible smile. Just then, the office door swung open. A young man in a white button-down and glasses walked in, holding a lunchbox and wearing a bashful smile. He looked like a fresh-faced intern. When he saw me, his smile froze, his eyes instantly sizing me up as a rival. Who are you? He asked, his tone wary. I'm a friend of Stella's, I said, standing and extending a hand. Ethan Cole. He ignored my hand. I'm Leo Hansen, he said stiffly, the new project assistant for Ms. Reed. Leo Hansen? My stomach dropped. The male lead? Here? In Stella's company? Host. That's him. The male lead. The system shrieked. What's he doing here? According to the script, he's supposed to join Chloe's company and become her secretary. Something was definitely wrong with the script. Leo walked right past me, beaming at Stella. Ms. Reed, I know how hard you work, so I made you a special lunch. He placed his box next to mine. I hope you like it. Stella's brow furrowed in annoyance. I already have lunch, and company policy prohibits personal errands during work hours. Oh, that's okay. Leo pressed on, completely missing the social cues. Just try a little. Ms. Reed, you have to know how I feel about you. The saccharine tone in his voice made my skin crawl. Stella's face grew stormier. Leo, did they not teach you to knock in orientation? Do your job and stop with these ridiculous gestures. I hired you to work, not to flirt. Leo's face fell. He shot me a venomous glare, as if I were to blame for his rejection, then grabbed his lunchbox and scurried out of the office. I couldn't help but chuckle. Looks like you have a new admirer. Stella shot me a look, but I could tell she was in a better mood. Favorability +5. Now at 75, the system reported. Stella, I said, leaning closer, let's go on a date tonight. You've been working too hard. I know this great new restaurant. She looked at me, her eyes a mix of hesitation and longing. I am Busse. Work will still be there tomorrow. I took her hand. It was cool to the touch, and she didn't pull away. Please? Just this once. For me. Before she could protest further, I scooped her up into my arms. She was surprisingly light. What are you doing? She gasped, instinctively wrapping her arms around my neck, her cheeks flushing a deep crimson. Taking you on that date. I grinned down at her. I told you I'd make things up to you. I intend to keep every promise I ever broke. She buried her face in my chest, a silent surrender. The entire office stared as I carried her out, but I didn't care. I wanted everyone to know she was mine. In the elevator, I looked down at her. She still wouldn't meet my eyes. I couldn't resist. I leaned down and kissed her. Her lips were soft, tasting faintly of the strawberry shortcake I'd brought her that morning. After a moment of stiffness, she melted into it, her hand moving to the back of my head, pulling me closer. Favorability +3, +2, +1. Current total 86. After a movie, I drove her home. She leaned her head on my shoulder the whole way, a small, contented smile on her face. At her doorstep, she turned back and threw her arms around my waist, holding me tight. Ethan, don't leave me again, she whispered, her voice thick with fear. I'm so scared this is all a dream. I held her close. I'm not going anywhere. I promise. She finally let go of years of pain, sobbing into my shoulder like a lost child. I just held her, my heart aching for her, vowing to never let anything hurt her again. As I was heading home, my phone rang. It was Chloe. I hesitated, then answered. Ignoring her was more dangerous than talking to her. Where are you, Ethan? Her voice was clipped and cold. Out, I said vaguely. You have 30 minutes. Get to my place, she commanded. You know the consequences. She hung up before I could reply. I sighed and hailed a cab. I just had to endure this until Leo Hansen finally made his move on her. Chloe opened the door wearing a black silk robe, loosely tied at the waist. Her hair was wet, her face bare of makeup, and she looked lethally beautiful. Get in. She sat on the sofa, her legs crossed, her eyes like daggers. Where were you today? Meeting a friend. She scoffed and shoved her phone in my face. Was this friend named Stella Reed? You have a lot of nerve lying to me, Ethan. On the screen was a crystal-clear security camera photo of me kissing Stella in the elevator lobby of her office. My blood ran cold. She had me followed. She could even get the security footage from Stella's building. You're spying on me? I demanded, a mix of anger and disbelief welling up inside me. What choice did you give me? She shot back. Did you forget our agreement? No intimate contact. You betrayed me. It was an accident. I tried, knowing it was useless. It meant nothing. An accident? She stood up, stalking toward me, and grabbed my jaw again, her grip like steel. Do you think I'm an idiot? You think because you have Stella back on your arm, you can just walk all over me? This isn't about her. I try to pull away. We have an agreement, not a relationship. You don't own my life. I don't care what you call it, she hissed, her eyes wild. You are mine. Why her? Why won't you just love me? Her robe slipped further in her agitation, revealing the smooth skin of her shoulder. I felt a pang of panic, of disgust. Chloe, you need to calm down, I said, trying to de-escalate. It will never work between us. I only love Stella. Calm down. She laughed, a broken, chilling sound. How can I calm down when the man I love is kissing another woman? I'm telling you, Ethan, you are mine. And if I can't have you, no one can. Just as her lips were about to crash onto mine, the front door to the apartment was kicked open. Stella stood in the doorway, her face a mask of cold fury, her eyes filled with a pain so deep it was terrifying. What? She said, her voice a deadly, trembling whisper. Are you doing? Chloe, recovering from the shock, didn't let me go. Instead, she tightened her grip, a triumphant, malicious smile spreading across her face as she looked at Stella. What does it look like we're doing? Ethan is my man now. He loves me, not you. Stella's face went deathly pale. She looked at me, her eyes begging me to deny it. Ethan, tell me it's not true. Tell me you're just playing along, that you love me. Stella, listen to me. It's not what you think. I struggled against Chloe's hold. This is all a misunderstanding. A misunderstanding? Stella's voice broke. She's half naked and all over you, Ethan. Are you discussing corporate strategy? You lied to me. You're just as selfish and cruel as you were before. Chloe laughed and planted a kiss on my cheek. Give it up, Stella. He chose me. What do you have to offer him besides a pathetic sob story? You bitch. Stille långt, her komposerschätzling. The two women collided in a flurry of slaps, pulled hair, and furious screams. Stop it, both of you. I finally managed to pull them apart. They were both disheveled, panting, with fury in their eyes. A red handprint was starkly visible on Stella's cheek. Why are you protecting her? Stella cried, her voice filled with betrayal. Do you really love her? Choose, Ethan, Chloe demanded, her robe barely hanging on. Her or me, right now. I looked from one to the other, the woman I had wronged and desperately wanted to save, and the woman who held my life in her hands. Just then, the system shrieked. Warning! Chloe's blackening value has reached 90. Any higher, and she will fully transition into a villainess. You'll have to complete the mission with 2 villainesses. 2 of them? The system had to be kidding me. Without a second thought, the words left my mouth. I choose Stella. Chloe's expression froze, then hardened into something terrifyingly cold. A chilling, broken smile touched her lips. Fine, she whispered, her voice trembling with a rage that promised destruction. You'll regret this, Ethan. I swear you will. She turned, walked into her bedroom, and slammed the door with enough force to shake the walls. Stella just stared at me, tears still wet on her cheeks. You really choose me? Of course. I gently touched the red mark on her face, my heart aching. I'm so sorry, Stella. She was forcing me. I swear it's only ever been you. She collapsed into my arms, holding on as if she were drowning. I thought I'd lost you again. Favorability +5. Current total, 91. Let's go, I said softly. Let's get out of here. Outside the building, Stella stopped me. Ethan, whatever she has on you, whatever she's threatening you with, we'll face it together. I'll protect you. The little girl I once protected was now protecting me. I smiled and squeezed her hand. Together, just then my phone buzzed. A blocked number. I answered. Did you really think you could run away? Chloe's voice was laced with a chilling, manic glee. It's over, Chloe, I said. Oh, it's far from over, she laughed. You want to win over Stella? Fine. I'll just send her a little care package. All the photos, all the videos, even a clip of you bragging about drugging my wine. Let's see how much she loves her precious, lying hero now. My head snapped toward Stella. Her phone had just chimed. She looked down at it, and the color drained from her face. Her whole body began to tremble. On her screen were the photos, the videos, everything. Stella, listen to me. I said frantically, it's a misunderstanding. I thought she was the target. I was being forced. She didn't look up from the phone, silent tears falling onto the screen. Finally, she looked at me, her eyes shattered. Is it true? You drugged her? Yes, but I had to. I pulled the folded-up doctor's report from my wallet. I have a terminal illness, Stella. The system said I had to win her over to be cured. I didn't want to die. I did it all so I could live, so I could be with you. She took the paper, her eyes scanning the diagnosis. Her face crumpled with shock, then with a deep, heart-wrenching pain. Oh, Ethan, she sobbed, the anger gone, replaced by anguish. Why didn't you tell me? Why did you carry this all alone? She threw her arms around me, crying to my chest. I'm so sorry, I misunderstood. We'll face this together. I'm not letting you go through this alone. Favorability +3. Current total, 94. Just as relief washed over me, a black sedan screeched to a halt beside us. 2 men in black suits jumped out and grabbed me. Let go of me. I struggled. The boss wants to see you, Mr. Cole. The boss? It had to be Chloe. They drove me to a secluded villa on the outskirts of the city. Inside, Chloe was waiting, dressed in a stunning red dress, looking like a beautiful, deadly predator. We meet again, Ethan, she said, a cold smile on her face. What do you want, Chloe? This is kidnapping. Kidnapping. She laughed. I just want you back. I love you so much, Ethan. And since you won't choose me, I'll have to make you stay. She gestured to her men, who approached me holding a glass of water and a single white pill. Take this. It's a special little pill that will make you very obedient. You'll forget all about that bitch Stella, and you'll only have eyes for me. Never. They forced it down my throat. My body went limp, my head spinning as the drug took hold. Chloe knelt before me, her eyes gleaming with a possessive, insane light. There, from now on, you belong to me. Forever. My own body began to betray me, a strange heat building as my consciousness faded. I looked at her, and to my horror, I felt a flicker of desire. Warning: Chloe's blackening value has reached 100. She has fully transitioned to a villainess. System update. Mission parameters have changed. Host must achieve 100 favorability with both Stella Reed and Chloe Vance to succeed. As compensation, successful completion will now grant enhanced abilities in addition to a healthy body. Good luck, host. My mind reeled. 2 of them? I had to win over 2 of them? You want me, don't you, Ethan? Chloe whispered, unbuttoning her dress. You know you do. Just as she leaned in to kiss me, the villa doors burst open. Chloe, let him go. Stella stood there, flanked by a team of her own security, her face a mask of righteous fury. Her arrival was like a splash of cold water, clearing my head. A chaotic brawl erupted in the living room. Stella rushed to my side, forcing an antidote she'd found on Chloe down my throat. The world slowly came back into focus. Are you okay? She asked, her eyes full of worry. Favorability plus 10. Current total 90. You won't take him from me. Chloe screamed, pulling a dagger from her dress and lunging at Stella. Look out. I shoved Stella aside, taking the blade in my chest. A searing pain exploded through me. Ethan. Both women screamed my name, their faces pale with horror. Blood bloomed across my shirt. My vision started to tunnel. Ethan, stay with me. Stella sobbed, holding me. I didn't mean to hurt you. Chloe whispered, her eyes wide with regret. Stella Reed favorability più 10. Current total 100. Chloe Vance favorability plus 20. Current total 80. I looked at Stella. I am sorry. For everything. Then I looked at Chloe. I am sorry. I used you. Tears streamed down both their faces. I was wrong, Ethan. Chloe cried, grabbing my other hand. Please don't die. Chloe Vance favorability plus 20. Current total 100. Mission success. Congratulations, host. You have been awarded a healthy body and enhanced abilities. A warm, golden light flooded my body. The pain vanished. I looked down and watched in amazement as the wound in my chest knitted itself closed. I stood up, feeling stronger than I ever had in my life. Stella and Chloe stared at me, their eyes wide with disbelief. Ethan, you... I looked at the 2 most powerful, dangerous, and beautiful women in the city, both of whom had just confessed their love for me in their own twisted ways. My life had been saved, the mission was complete, and I was standing in the wreckage of a living room, holding the hands of 2 rival CEOs. Stella. Chloe, I said, a slow smile spreading across my face. Thank you. They looked at each other, a silent, complicated understanding passing between them. I know I've hurt both of you, I said, my voice firm, but I want a chance to make it right. With both of you. They looked at me, then at each other again. Then, in unison, they both said, okay. I squeezed their hands, a feeling of pure, unadulterated triumph surging through me. The future was going to be complicated, but for the first time in a long time, it was a future I couldn't wait to live. End.